You've got narration questions? We've got answers. In this video, we'll answer 5 of the most common questions we get about narrations. Let's dig in. Number 1. What is narration? Narration is simply an oral retelling. It provides an opportunity for you and your child to discuss what you just read to them. Narration is not simply repeating word for word what was read. It's a retelling in the individual's own words, or a sharing of their take on the subject matter that was read. Number 2, why should I bother narrating? You should bother with narration because it gives your student the opportunity to share what they have learned, and it helps you to see what they've picked up from a passage. Narrating, and the discussion time that goes with it, gives us a chance to work on our students' attention spans and helps us to guide them to make connections between what they have just learned from a passage and what they already know. And if that wasn't enough, narrating also helps the student prepare for writing down their thoughts. Number 3, who should narrate? If your child is old enough to speak and sit when you read to them, they can narrate. But you should definitely begin working on narration about the same time you start working on notebooking. Number 4, how should narration be done? It's really quite simple. You begin by reading a passage with your students, and when you're done, you ask one or more of the following questions. Questions like, what did you learn about the topic you just read? Can you tell me 2 things you just learned from what I just read to you? What happened in the story we just read? What did you find interesting from what you just read? That's it. Now, normally you would also write down or have them write down their oral narration on a notebooking sheet or in a mini book for a lap book, but that's how simple an oral retelling is. Number 5, what should I expect? Don't expect your students' answers to be complete and super stellar at the very beginning. In fact, you may be greeted with the lonely sound of crickets when you ask your students to narrate for the first few times. Oftentimes, children are afraid that they'll get the answer wrong or they won't say what you want to hear. But keep encouraging them that there's no wrong answer to what did you find interesting. And as they become more comfortable with the skill of narrating over the months and years, their answers will become a more detailed retelling of the passage. Narration seems like a simple act, but really it's a skill that takes a lot of time and practice to get good at. So don't get discouraged when your kids don't narrate like a pro from the beginning. And if you're looking for a super fun adventure that will teach your kids about science that they can narrate from, check out the Sassafras Science Adventure series.